Hi guys, my name is Dr. Lee Sung. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Imagine this for a second. A simple injection that was originally designed for diabetes is suddenly being discussed all over the internet as something completely different. People are claiming it is changing male bodies, improving confidence, improving performance, and in some cases, even causing what they call unexpected physical changes. And then comes the most shocking claim of all, that 94% of men using it are experiencing noticeable improvements in their intimate performance. Now pause for a moment and think logically. If something like this was actually medically proven, it would not be a viral TikTok trend or a random YouTube discussion. It would be a global medical headline, published in journals, studied in hospitals, and discussed by doctors worldwide. But instead, what we see is confusion, exaggeration, and social media storytelling turning into facts that most people never verify.
So the real question is not what people are saying. The real question is, what is actually true? Before we get into any assumptions, let's understand the foundation. Ozempic is not a performance-enhancing drug. It is not designed for male health, sexual improvement, or physical transformation in that sense. Its primary medical purpose is to help people with type 2 diabetes manage blood sugar levels. It works by influencing insulin response and reducing appetite, which often leads to weight loss. That weight loss is where everything starts getting misunderstood. Because when a person loses a significant amount of weight, the body does not just change in one area, it changes systemically. Blood pressure can improve, blood circulation can become more efficient, energy levels may increase, sleep quality often improves, even hormonal balance can shift in a more stable direction. And when all of these things improve together, the person naturally feels better overall. Now here is where the confusion begins. A person starts a medication, loses weight, feels more energetic, feels more confident, and maybe notices improvement in physical performance. And then the brain does something very interesting. It connects all those improvements directly to the medication itself, even when the changes are actually coming from overall health improvement. This is not unusual. This is how human psychology works. Let's go deeper. Male performance is not controlled by one single factor. It is not a switch that turns on or off. It is a complex system involving blood flow, cardiovascular health, hormones, mental state, stress levels, sleep quality, and overall physical condition. If any of these systems are weak, performance can be affected. For example, if a person has obesity, poor circulation, high blood sugar, and low energy levels, it is very common for them to experience performance issues. Not because something is wrong with one organ, but because the entire system is under strain. Now, if that same person loses weight, improves diet, stabilizes blood sugar, and becomes more active, the entire system starts functioning better again. So yes, performance can improve. But the key detail is this. It is not a direct effect of a medication changing anatomy or size. It is an indirect result of better health. Now let's address the most viral and controversial claim. The idea that there is a specific percentage of men, like 94%, reporting dramatic sexual improvements or even physical enlargement. This is where science becomes very clear. There is no credible clinical research that supports such a precise figure. In medical studies, numbers are not guessed. They are measured through controlled trials, peer-reviewed data, sample sizes, and verified methodology. Social media does not follow those rules. Instead, what happens is, one person shares an experience. Another person exaggerates it. A third person turns it into a statistic, and suddenly it becomes a viral fact. But viral does not mean verified. Now let's talk about another important misunderstanding, physical appearance. When someone loses weight, especially around the abdomen, the body shape changes. Fat reduction in the lower stomach area can make surrounding anatomy more visible. This often creates an optical illusion where people believe something has increased in size. But in reality, nothing has physically changed in structure. It is simply visibility changing due to fat reduction. This is one of the biggest reasons why myths like this spread so easily. Because the transformation is real, weight loss is real, but the interpretation of that transformation is often incorrect. Now let's shift to something even more important, psychology. When a person improves their physical health, they often experience a mental transformation as well. They feel more confident. They feel more active. They feel more socially comfortable. They may even feel more attractive. And confidence is extremely powerful when it comes to human performance, because the brain and body are deeply connected systems. If the mind feels better, the body often responds better. This does not mean anatomy has changed. It means psychological state has improved. This is why some people genuinely believe they are experiencing dramatic physical changes, when in reality, the change is coming from confidence, energy, and improved well-being. Now, let's bring in medical perspective. Doctors who observe patients using weight management treatments like this usually report consistent and realistic outcomes such as
better blood sugar control, improved metabolic health, weight reduction, and in many cases, improved cardiovascular function.
Some individuals may also report improvement in intimate performance, but again, this is seen as a secondary effect of overall health improvement, not a direct effect of the medication itself. There is no scientific mechanism that supports the idea that this medication increases size or permanently alters sexual anatomy. And this is the point where science separates itself from internet narratives, because science requires evidence, consistency, and reproducibility. Viral content only requires attention. Now let's step back and look at the bigger picture. Why do these kinds of claims spread so fast? Because they combine two highly emotional topics: body transformation and male performance. These are subjects that naturally attract curiosity, insecurity, and attention. So when someone presents a quick explanation or a shocking result, people are more likely to believe it without questioning it deeply. But real biology is never that simple. The human body is not a collection of isolated parts that change independently because of one substance. It is a connected system. When one part improves, others may also improve, but through indirect pathways, not direct transformation. So what is the final truth here? There is no medical evidence supporting the idea that this medication directly increases size or causes anatomical changes. There is also no verified research supporting exaggerated viral statistics like 94% improvement. What does exist is something much more grounded and realistic. Weight loss leads to improved health. Improved health can lead to better physical performance. Better performance can lead to increased confidence. And increased confidence can change perception. But perception is not biology. Now, before we end this, there is one important takeaway that matters more than the viral claim itself. When it comes to health, performance, and body transformation, there are no shortcuts that bypass biology. There are no instant fixes that rewrite how the human body works. Real change comes from consistent lifestyle improvements, proper nutrition, physical activity, sleep quality, stress management, and overall metabolic health. These are the foundations that actually influence long-term well-being, not viral trends, not exaggerated statistics, and not misunderstood interpretations of medical treatments. And if you understand this clearly, you are already ahead of most people who only consume surface-level information online. Because in a world full of noise, the real advantage is not believing faster, it is understanding deeper. If you found this breakdown useful, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay connected for more deep, science-based explanations where we break viral myths into real facts.